there's our first match as they finish their practice. Darren Peters, Keith Dahmer. Winner gets Tom Baker. Winner of that gets Steve Smith. And then Steve Badavinik, our tournament leader, as he went around Steve Smith in the position round. So back live for the stepladder finals of the South Point Senior Shootout Haynes Bowling Supply Challenge. And to my left, once again, Mike Diaz. Welcome back again, Mike.
Thank you, sir. Should be an exciting stepladder finals on the 43-foot pattern.
I'll tell you, position round sure was interesting as Paul Fleming had a chance to go from 13th to the show, and he was actually there until Darren Peters struck on his first shot. And it came down to really Fleming left a bucket in the 10th frame instead of 9 spare. If he 9 spares instead of 6 spare, he's in. But it wasn't meant to be. And here we go. First shot, Darren Peters. And he likes the fact that it's back on the fresh.
Absolutely.
Because he was telling me at the end of that last game, even his first one in 10th where he had to strike, it was kind of a guess, and he gave it some loft, and it held. And
yeah, it would have been a really interesting show, not on fresh.
yeah, well, scores kept going up and up and up all day long, that's for sure. But the shots that some of the righties were playing there towards the end, it was not really fallback, but it was just like throw it right of the 1-3 and let it tip.
Yep.
Well, it's tied right now. That's easy to figure out.
That's a fact.
Did that in my head.
So I guess we'll see if 24 plays any differently tonight. Certainly did the first night.
It did. I've been watching it today, and it looks like it's been holding up today. But again, they just re-oiled. There's been some different practice on here. All the players in the stepladder got their 5 to 10 minutes, whatever it ended up being on this pair. Then they'll warm up, stay loose on the low end of the house. But yeah, back on day one there in the Turbo Challenge, lane 24 got ugly in a hurry.
Oh. Good shot for Dahmer, leaving the 8-pin.
Not sure what that comment was for, the look on his face.
Both trying to get to about 10, so you'll see the ball hit that back rangefinder right at 10.
So we've seen Darren Peters in the South Point Senior Shootout several times in stepladders and in the finals. Of course, we know all about Hall of Famer Tom Baker, Steve Smith, Team USA, your good friend Badavinik. But Dahmer, he's to me the unknown. I think to you as well. We don't know much about this gentleman.
No, I don't either.
But if it's this week's any tell, he should win. I mean, day one we get Daniel Miyamoto, the surprise winner. Day two we get Corbett Austin, who was definitely a surprise winner. So, you know,
it's definitely the dark horse week so far.
So far. But Darren Peters, he's not into playing that game. Nice, smooth, easy double. He's kind of right into his A game right here, right now.
Absolutely. Slow speed, likes to slow wheel it. It's got a ball reaction he likes, especially on the fresh again. Using an old Alpha Crux, Storm Alpha Crux.
A little high, maybe? Nope. Held off just like he was hoping for.
That ball is pretty stable, so he gets into his comfort zone, 20 to 10 at the rangefinder, just letting the oil just push it back. And with his nice slow speed, ball just rolls right up.
And that was left all the way.
Yeah, he got that left off his hand because I think he's trying to get a little right of 20 at the arrows, and that was pretty close to 20 and never got right of about 13.
See, I didn't say anything because we've known on these sport patterns that 3-6-10 is one of the toughest spares, but I didn't want to say anything and jinx him. So that wasn't my fault.
Yeah, on this longer pattern with the amount of oil in the middle of the lane, if you get it wide a little bit early, it's not going to recover at all.
It's a better shot. And when we talk about, you know, for our fans and viewers at home that aren't really familiar with the different oil patterns, we talk about the amount of oil. We're talking about a very small amount. I mean, this is maybe, 27 mils total, which is the amount of medicine you take in that little liquid drop. I mean, you're talking, you know, a couple thimbles of oil spread across the lane, but it's a matter of what type of oil and how it's spread across the lane really affects the way the balls roll or don't roll.
Absolutely. And this oil pattern specifically puts a little buildup of oil from the third arrow on each side, and so it slopes off from there. So most of the players are trying to get at or inside the third arrow to start. In Darren's case, he's in at fourth arrow because his speed's a little bit slower. Probably see Tom Baker be a little bit right of Darren, probably around 16, 17, and maybe not get it even right to 10 in his match.
Yeah, and oh, by the way, you can't see the oil.
And it's an invisible course. That's the most challenging thing about bowling, is we bowl on an invisible course.
And it changes every time a ball goes down the lane. But other than that, it's an easy game.
That shot from Peters in off his hand. Cut that one a little short.
But off to an early lead.
Now it's Darren's turn to shoot a 3-6-10.
You don't want to give your opponent any momentum, though, and let them think they have a chance to get back in it. You just got to keep filling those frames and keep the pressure on them, and that's okay. I thought I might have chopped that 3 off the front for a minute.
No, especially with Dahmer, because I don't know how much experience he's had in these situations. Looks fairly poised, though. But you never know how fast the heart rate's going on inside.
No. Didn't know this isn't national TV, but this is, you've been bowling all day. You're used to bowling a full center of people. Now it's just 2 people on lanes, and the center's empty. So all the focus is on you. So people are watching. You know what's at stake. You got money on the line, a title on the line. You have to be nervous.
Yeah, you can tell it's another shot he cut short a little bit. So looks like he's trying to manipulate it a little bit, and that's easy to do.
Is that 9 pin back there too?
Yep. 4-count split.
Yeah.
The split we never saw 25 years ago. You have to really get this ball right and hope it gets through the 9-pin. Just takes the 4 off the right. Puts Dahmer in an early hole.
And not the start he was envisioning whatsoever, unfortunately. I think just by seeing that, he's got some experience here because he is still taking his time.
He is taking
Less
his time.
experienced people would just grab the ball and go again. Hey, you know what? Another open, just get up and go and make another mistake. But he stepped back for a second.
Got up, made a good shot.
A strike to stay up 55 through 6 for Darren Peters.
He got that one a little bit wide, and it still recovered. So.
Yeah, he didn't like it. Still shaking his head, but it's a strike on the board. So
yeah,
you're not gonna be too upset about it.
Yeah, no.
222 max for Dahmer, 227 pace for Darren Peters. Same thing.
Got it in.
So is it the left lane that's getting
I think the left lane is
funky
hooking
today?
a little bit earlier. Doesn't seem to have quite as much hold as the right lane does at this point. See how that progresses as this stepladder goes on. It's a challenging spare on this pattern. It was easy to go by it today.
well, it's 1 for 3 so far for these players.
Yeah.
Tom Baker getting loose down the low end of the house. And if there's early hook, you got to believe that falls into Tom's favor because his ball doesn't ever hook early.
Absolutely.
Ever.
Ever, ever.
Double here can put a little bit of pressure on Darren Peters.
A little bit. Let's let him know he's still around.
Yep.
Because by now this pair is probably about ready to go through its first transition.
Hey, I didn't watch much of the practice. I don't know if any of the players were throwing surface earlier to try to break anything down. I wasn't paying attention, unfortunately.
Nope. No surface thrown.
No?
No surface.
Why not?
Nobody
Weren't they
chose-
listening to us last night?
Yeah, apparently not.
All right, we got a game now.
Now, had I been practicing, you'd have seen lots of surface.
Cut that lead in half.
Yeah. Yeah, you got that one wide.
Ooh,
Good break to get the 10 out.
really big break.
It's kind of a tough pattern to really decide if you break it down, are you giving one of your competitors an advantage? And
222 still max for Dahmer and 215 pace now for Darren Peters. He 3-6-10, both shots back to back here. These last two. Not that time.
got that one a lot. Got that one right about a good 3 at the back.
Well, 3 strikes and he forces a strike out of Peters is what it comes down to. So Dahmer can put pressure on him, make him show up in the 10th. But got to get this first one.
Good shot for Dahmer. He really trusted that one. Got it to the right that time.
And that arm swing, it's just keeping it loose, though.
Yeah. I mean, he's for getting off to that bumpy start with a couple opens early. He's really come back and made a match out of this. Just wanted to make Peters show up in the 10th.
Never got it right.
Never got it to the right.
Oh, Darren Peters just stay behind the foul line. He will advance to take on Hall of Famer Tom Baker. We can start listing all of Baker's accomplishments, but we don't have that much time.
We do not. To say he is the most experienced player in the field would be a huge understatement.
Yeah, that'd be the thanks, Mr. Obvious statement there.
Yes. Thank you, Captain Obvious.
What we do know is Darren Peters is going to be taking on Tom Baker. What's Tom now, 65, 66?
Might be 66. 5 or 6. He's a couple years older than me, so he might be 65.
So the match is locked up. And yeah, Darren, I was going to say, is he going to try a different ball? Absolutely, because he does not get practice between the game. Tom Baker gets a couple shots,
yeah,
but Darren doesn't. So it's a veteran move here. Grab another ball, get a look. Well, he actually gets 2 free shots, basically.
Yep.
So, heck, 2 balls. Why not?
Take him.
So what's he going to look for? Is he going to look for more shape?
I think he's going to look for a little more push.
Okay. Because he knows, like we do, that Tom's ball doesn't hook early. It's not going to read early. He could probably even get Baker probably get right over where Darren is. So what can he do to even try to affect that?
Not much in 2 shots, but I mean he started a little deeper, so.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even shoot the spare here. I'd take another test shot.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
224, 187 winner to be a couple of shots for Tom Baker, and then we'll get on with the next match here at the Haynes Bowling Supply Challenge.
Our 5th place finisher, 6-game qualifier, 5 games of match play, grind out at 1 more game. Congratulations, Keith. Nice bowling today. That brings on our number 3 seed, Tom Baker, who will get 8 shots of warm-up on this pair, and then as the higher seed, we'll have lane choice.
right. Next match should be an interesting one. Darren Peters and Tom Baker. And we were kind of looking at my super secret stash of stats here. Tom Baker, 57 total PBA titles between regional, seniors, national events, 10 national titles. Hall of Fame in 99, 71 career 300s, 2.2 million in career earnings. Nagy in 80-81, won his first title in 1980, Hall of Fame in 99, PBA Senior Player of the Year 3 years in a row. And the list goes on. And Darren Peters is going to have his work cut out for him. And it looks like he's staying with that ball change, where he jumped in a little bit tighter. Is that what you see too, Mike?
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
We'll see if that works out for him. And Tom Baker's always been an interesting one. I mean, you heard some of his records are just, ridiculous. And he won this year. But if you sit as a bowler, you sit here and you watch Tom Baker throw the ball, there's nothing he does that's going to scare you, right? What is it about his game that's had this longevity? He's won in 4 decades.
He's a shot maker. He's just a pure shot maker. Doesn't do anything fancy. Spins it a little bit, but he keeps every shot on line.
But it's that ball or that spin you mentioned. That's what, to me, that's always his key, right? Where his ball just doesn't read early.
It never, yeah. Tom's ball never reads early. Always looks, his ball reaction always looks good. So we'll see if he's affected at all by the play from the previous match and from practice or not.
Small step, short backswing, but that's a strike.
Tom's always had that late timing for quite a while now. So it doesn't allow him to get the ball into a long backswing, but it's dead straight, and he just gets every shot on line. His speed control is good.
Better release for Peters, about 4 pins.
Ball's definitely making a little harder move at the back. And you have to create some angle on this shot. When you start that far left, you have to do something with your hand to create a little bit of angle into the pocket. So Darren will get his hand around it to get the ball to recover. Last shot on 23 hooked a little early. We'll see what he does this shot, see if he goes a little bit further left.
It's like he went quite a bit left with his feet.
That was good. That was a good move. Good shot there by Tom. Catch an early double. Kind of curious to see if Baker has this left lane hooking a little bit earlier. Yeah, he does.
Oh.
He's a couple boards further left at the arrows.
I think he got pretty firm with that one, too.
He was a little firmer with that one, so definitely looked like the left lane is hooking a little earlier.
Well, this is the second step ladder for Darren Peters in 3 events. He was in that first match Tuesday night in the Turbo Challenge. And here he is now in the Haynes Bowling Supply step ladder final.
Darren has had good success in this tournament. Having another good week this week here. Like he just got that one in off his hand a little bit. I don't think he ever gave that one a chance to get to the break. I think sometimes you can outthink yourself a little bit in these situations, and I think you just play what you see and keep it simple.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see why he decided to make that ball change in the big jump there after that last game.
Gets a good break, knocked 7-10 out.
224 with 2 missed 3.610s. So I mean that's 240. So he had a pretty decent look. He just two kind of bad shots on the left lane. But now he's just you get kind of stuck now, right? You make the move on one, so you think you have to do it on both, and now you're just kind of in the middle on. I don't know. Just not, then you're not comfortable.
Yeah, and you kind of never want to go back, so. Bakes is creeping in a little bit, shot by shot on this pair. He's in a little left of the third arrow now. Difference is right now Baker's ball is not overreading the back of the pattern, and Darren's is a little bit.
So you go stone 8, now a weak 8.
Yeah, he didn't look like he moved in on that shot, but that ball did go quite a bit longer. He might have maybe just missed it at the bottom a little bit. Yeah, I have a feeling that's what happened because he looks like he wasn't quite happy with that shot.
Just going back here on YouTube to see how much Tom's game has changed. This is 1981 Royal Aids Open against Earl Anthony. We'll get a shot here. I'll be able to tell you how much different he is from today to what, 38 years ago, Shouldn't change much, right?
No, not
I'm going to
too
guess
much.
his backswing was higher. His knee bend was probably quite a bit deeper then.
Yeah, he has a little more trouble with his feet now, and he struggles to get the ball going as quick and as early as he could in his younger days. He's never gotten it away super early, but sporting the stash back in the day.
So he got the ball up above his shoulders almost. Or I'm going to bring it down a little bit. Yeah, a lot longer approach, a lot longer follow through.
Back in the days when bowling balls hooked a lot less. Good shot by Peters. Really trusted that one to the right.
We have to go back and watch this whole show later. You got Earl Anthony on the show. You got Dick Weber sitting in the crowd.
He never had a really long backswing, though.
No, no. It's the beauty of the internet. You can go back and see all that stuff. So
Absolutely.
pretty cool. Is there any Mike Diaz stuff out there?
Oh, there's probably a few things
I'll
out there.
Find some of those later too. I'll get those queued up for tomorrow. And an errant shot for Tom now, and this is we got a game.
We do indeed. Well, now we're down to a 4-pin match. It's the beauty of this event. Tom's eligible by route that any player over 63, no matter how many titles they have, is eligible to bowl this tournament.
That's a quality shot right there.
Good shot.
To me, that's the frustration shot. It's like, why the heck did I throw it so bad on the right lane? This is all you got to do, and just jam it in there.
Yep. That's exactly what happened.
I just
Tom will be
tick myself
shaking his
off.
head
Yeah.
until he gets up again.
Yeah, look, he's still sitting there shaking his head.
Absolutely. I told you, he
just
will
so
be until
annoyed.
he gets up again.
Yeah.
Oh. Darren Peters makes a good shot. Could have taken the lead on that shot, and stones a 9-pin. That's a hard one. That takes the wind out of your sails a little bit.
Yeah, that's a swift kick in the gut right there. But you got, you gotta get up and make the spare though. I mean, a lot of times you'll see somebody do that and just get up and miss the spare because they're just mad and not paying attention. But
yeah,
you still gotta,
you
keep
have
your
to.
composure.
Yeah. Tough part about this is even with a strike, he can't get back sitting on the bench and have the lead in his hand.
No, but Tom did wash out his last shot in the right lane, so he's thinking about it because he wasn't happy with the shot at all.
Yeah, I don't expect him to wash out again on the right lane.
But your normal move would be to go high though. So how do you trust it? Of course, well, you trust it because you won so many times in your career.
I'd say there's probably at least 57 times he trusted it the right way.
Absolutely.
.65 and still winning.
Yeah, he just won last month.
Good shot there, left the ring 10. Good news is he's done with that lane.
Oh, but he cannot shut out Darren Peters. Darren can go 209. Towns max is 203.
Yep.
So 2 strikes, a stone 8, and a shaker 8 on the left lane for Tom Baker. That's his 10th frame coming up.
I was kind of wondering if the scores would be a little bit lower this game with transition. I'm guessing by next match they're going to settle down a little bit. The scores will probably go back up a little bit again.
Steve Smith waiting for the winner of this match. That'll be the semifinal match here for the Haynes Bowling Supply Challenge.
Yeah, now you got 2 guys coming on that have both made Team USA.
You need to make this and get 9 to force a strike out of Darren Peters. I guess 8,
8.
right? 180.
Yeah.
Or excuse me, 190.
I was scratching my head
29.
trying to
That's
work out
close.
your math there.
It's close, man. That's common. That's the new math, Common Core math. You got to carry there once, subtract 7, and just guess.
Yeah.
It's day 3. Give me
It's
a break.
day 3.
Give me a
You've
break.
been sitting up here high atop the South Point for 3 days.
Yeah. That didn't look good off his hand, but
Wasn't
it didn't
pretty,
matter.
but
No.
it did strike.
I think that's the. Do I just throw it right down the middle, or do I hook it? Do I do? Just
chuck
do
it.
that, yeah. 192. So Darren Peters,
Needs the first one.
gotta have it.
First strike, or he's done for the night. Oh, got it. Clutch shot there.
He had not struck on that lane yet.
Yeah, that was a
No,
great
had
shot.
not struck on that lane the whole game.
Sometimes you just buckle up in that situation and just make the shot.
And yet another good match here at South Point Senior Shootout. We've seen great matches all week long, and I got to believe this next one's not gonna let us down either. We're gonna have Steve Smith, and as long as Darren Peters stays behind the foul line, one of these next 2 shots, he'll be in that match as well.
It didn't matter.
No, didn't matter. No, just need to get a handful. So semifinal match, Haynes Bowling Supply Challenge coming up next right here live from the South Point Bowling Plaza. And we'll have it here coming up next.
What a nice hand for Tom Baker. Our 4th place finisher. Good bowling today. And congratulations to Darren Peters with a clutch strike in the 10th to win his 2nd match. That brings on our number 2 seed, Steve Smith. Again, Steve will get up to 8 shots on the pair and have lane choice as the higher seed.
And here we are again, semifinal match. Steve Smith, Tom Baker. So a little more pedigree on Steve Smith we're familiar with. Of course, former Team USA player, former professional basketball player too.
I did not know
Several
that.
years in, I think, in the Philippine, the other PBA, the Philippine Basketball Association, I believe.
Aha.
For I think, like
That
maybe
PBA.
10 years. I mean, you know,
Wow.
I believe a fairly long time if I got that right. So an athlete, obviously.
Yeah, Steve absolutely is a good athlete.
And another style, when you see it, it's like, okay, how? But you know what? I'll tell you, he's one of the toughest competitors in this part of the country, in San Diego, and he's always tough.
Absolutely. One of the best, strongest senior players out there.
I remember when he walked into the Open a couple years ago at Suncoast. I said, "What are you doing here?" "Well, I'm 50." "Oh, you're not," because again, he doesn't look it.
He absolutely does look 50. Well, this time Peters makes the 3-6-10. Now this match, Darren could be forced to move a little bit more because Steve is right on top of him.
So he's like that left lane the last several shots. It's the right lane that he's still got him befuddled a bit.
Yeah, he's still a little unsure about his reaction on the right lane. I think he's probably gonna have to make another move. Steve's already nuzzled up against the ball return. Question is whether Steve's actually got too far left or a little firm. I think maybe he got a little firm.
Yeah, I think that was firm. It looked a little quicker than what we've seen from him in the last couple of days. Just a little amped up. And
Yeah. Oh. There's kind of an unexpected mistake.
unforced error. Well, we haven't seen a match yet where anybody really got off to a hot start.
No, we haven't. I think after bowling on the burn for 5 games, it takes a little bit to get back to something a little bit fresher, but it's breaking down fairly quickly.
Oh. And then
Another stone 9. You'd think, well, how can a player leave a stone 9 from close to 5th arrow, but if the ball's got enough entry angle, it'll still do it.
But I don't think he minds seeing that right now. He knows he's got the ball going the right direction. He can make a good move off that.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. That's just a little nudge back in to the left, and he's got all the room in the world on the left lane. Of course, here at the South Point, the ball returns are quite a ways back, so it's pretty easy to get in front of the ball return on the right lane. That looked like Darren got just a little bit further left, but much better shot, a lot firmer, got through it. So this pair could have gone one of 2 ways in this step ladder with all 5 right-handers. Could have either gotten really easy or stayed a little bit tricky, and they've stayed a little bit tricky.
How do you see our tournament leader, Steve Badavinik, playing it? Because he can probably hook it as much as any of these players out here right now. He's a lot stronger. I mean, I don't mean stronger physically, but he has a stronger release,
Yes.
a heavier roll. Is that going to be good or bad for him the way you see these lanes breaking down?
I think it's going to be good for him because he can get as deep as he needs to get and just get that long. He's got long levers and he can really get it down the lane when he needs to. I think.
So kind of like what we saw with Corbett Austin last night. He can just be aggressive with it and let it go and it'll come back.
And he will, because even when he's aggressive, he rarely just throws it through the break point.
Well, the only positive right now for Darren is he's making his spares. But
and Steve hasn't gotten off to a fast start, so that's good for Darren. And Darren's got a good feel for the pair at this point, and Steve, even with the practice shots, is still kind of feeling out the pair. Some step ladders you feel like 2 shots and you're ready to go, and others 8 doesn't feel like nearly enough. Smith does not look at all comfortable on the right lane.
Well, he misses a 2-8, makes an adjustment, leaves a big split. 2 opens so far for Steve Smith, and he's got to play catch up now.
Yeah, because even on the left lane, he's still got to make a little move, although he's way more comfortable on that lane. Although he did elect to start the match, so he's got to finish the match on the right lane. Well, that ball went and went and went and went and never quite turned the corner. But he got a strike out of it. That'll leave you second guessing a lot of things.
Yeah, he didn't learn anything from that. I mean, he 9-pinned the last shot on that lane, so he had to move, and now the ball did absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, Smith almost needs to go to something that's going to read the lane a little earlier and even take another little half a step left.
He's down 23 right now. So maybe something like a big symmetric pearl or something, or
yeah,
maybe with a touch of surface.
With a touch, definitely with a touch of surface. Anything shiny right now is probably gonna overreact to the back of the pattern. That was up the lane off of Darren's hand, and he knew it. Good news is you keep marking, but he's letting Smith hang around, and that's not a good idea with somebody with his experience.
Well, a strike for Smith. He can cut the lead in half in one shot, and got to make sure you make that first. Ooh. That's where it'd be fun to hit pause, hit about 56 feet, and then say, "Hey, Darren, did you make that spare?"
Yeah.
And then hit play. I'm thinking he would have said, "No, I missed it."
Yeah, he wasn't real confident that was going to make.
All right. Nelson up against that ball return. Trying to get a little more left, sliding almost in the left gutter.
Or
stayed firm.
Or in Steve Smith's
planting.
case, planting in the left gutter.
Not much slide there.
No slide there.
In a quality shot.
Good shot. Good adjustment.
So he strikes here, and he's got it within just a couple.
Yeah, that shot on right lane almost looked like a feel thing with Steve. Just a little bit of touch, got around it a little bit. Just got to recover the right way.
So his first shot was good. Second shot, 9-pin. Third shot made a move, and the ball never read, but somehow struck. Now what do you do?
I think you do what the kids do and hit it a little more.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Make sure you hit it.
And I think that's what he did.
Yep.
Exactly what he did. Made sure he caught that one. Got a little more on it. And so 3-pin match. Difference between Smith and Peters at this juncture is Smith has that athletic ability to just kind of get a little more on the shot to make it turn the corner a little harder.
Right.
And Peters' A game is really just that slow wheel, and it's hard for him to get a lot more on it without cutting it off a little bit.
And he's showing on the short pattern he can stay right and stay firm with it, but this is, I mean, he's 15, 20 left with his feet, and it's a totally different arm swing to do that on this pattern.
Yeah. This is that point in the lane where you're tucking the ball back in and projecting it to the right.
So does it just creep a little bit left and just hit it harder?
Yeah, that's what he's got to do. And right there he tried to do that and cut it short a little bit.
And another 3-6-10.
And a lead change.
Yeah, he did exactly what we talked about earlier. Take your time and don't get up there and just be upset. And he almost did, and he realized, no, don't do that. Collect yourself.
All right, that stayed down 1 in the match.
Well, 9 spare, and we're dead even.
Did not like that one off his hand.
So do you think these are all just misses by the players left, or are they just afraid to throw it right and just overprotecting?
I think they're afraid to just trust it and cut it loose to the right. I think there's recovery to the right down lane. But since nobody started right of 15, I think there's maybe a little bit of oil left to the right, or if they just gas it a little bit, it doesn't recover. And so they're certainly on that left lane where Steve threw that one shot that never recovered. Makes you wonder. But the early practice before the step ladder even starts tells you a lot about what's going to happen. Nobody used surface. Nobody played to the right at all. That was a great shot.
Well, he's going to give himself a chance. All depends on what Darren Peters does, but striking in that 9th lets them know I'm still here, and they're dead even coming into that frame. Seven spare, 9 spare, strike, 9 spare on this lane so far for Darren Peters.
This is where he's just got to get up and just focus in and make one good shot and be aggressive. And he was aggressive, made a good shot. Just read a little bit too quick, and another 9-pin. In case you're wondering about the number of 9 pins on this pattern, it's not a high volume pattern at 23 mils. So there is some friction down the lane.
Two or three max score for Darren Peters. Needs this one and gets it. And that would force a double.
Got to have the second one to force that double.
Yeah. If he punches out, he forces a double. Well, that ball jumped right in front of the head pin.
Yeah, grab that one a little bit.
Well, and getting two here is important.
Absolutely, it's important.
So 193, and spare strike for Smith is 194.
And spare 9
Is a tie.
So we have the possibility.
It is there. The possibility is there. Gave us some room.
Oh. Trusted it, made it. It's not. Trusted it. He made a really good shot.
I think that was the best shot of the game that he's thrown so far. Trusted it, let it go, and just
absolutely
gets postage due on that messenger. Nine to tie, 10 to win.
Not high scoring, but another exciting match.
Yeah, it's you know it's what we like. I don't care if it's 300 to 300 or 150 to 151. It's you know, close matches are always interesting regardless.
I almost like these 192.0 kind of matches because there's so much going on.
Well, that's where bowling's, you know, tough for the layman, right? I mean, Peters clean, never missed a spare.
Yeah.
Smith 2 opens, but that 3-bagger gets him in the match, keeps him in the match.
Yep.
8, 9.
So we do have a tie.
Whew.
Just barely.
Wow. All right, what's the format, Ron? Tournament director Ron Moore, Hall of Famer right there. He's gonna get on the mic and tell us, or is he just gonna let him go? Is it one ball?
I think it's one ball.
So Steve Smith, the high qualifier, gets choice, and why would you pick the left lane? He peered a shot there. That one he got a little quick on maybe, but
I would
you've
definitely
got the pocket on the right lane, right?
Absolutely take the right lane because Peters is not sure what he's got.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, what?
That was a mistake.
I don't understand this.
Might work out.
Unless Ron told me he had to start there. I don't know, but
No, I would think he's got choice.
well, what do we know?
Yeah.
But
maybe that's why I'm sitting up here.
But I think we're on the same page. I don't understand that. That's a question to ask him later. What were you thinking? But that's 2 out of the last 3 shots that he just threw really, really good. That's one thing for sure. So Darren Peters, I believe, needs to strike to stay in it.
Yep.
Roll off here, semifinal match.
Moving on. maybe this works out for Smith anyway. There's a huge break.
Yes.
Let's just say that was not Steve's best effort.
And there's nothing Darren can do about that. It is what it is. But now he's got to get up there and make a shot of his own. Just make the best shot he can.
Yep.
And try to force a third roll off.
So Steve Smith is your winner.
Steve Smith out of San Diego, California is going to take on Steve Badovinik out of Denver, Colorado, right?
That's
Where's
correct.
Is he Denver? Is he in Denver or is he just on the outskirts?
On the outskirts of Denver.
We'll call it Denver.
Here to win a match. So congratulations, Darren, on your third place finish. Steve will get 8 shots on the fair.
All right, so as we were talking before, what did he say? So I'm not sure how much he was watching that match, but knowing his game and he knows how he wants to play lanes, he'd take 2 shots on each side with some surface? Or 3 on each side and then just get one to line up?
I don't know. You know, I would take all 8 to make Smith sit as long as possible.
Right. And you got a good coming at chat. Nice run for Darren Peters again. He's made 2 finals. He won a couple matches today, and he will be back tomorrow for sure and try to take a run in the Logo Infusion Championships. Let's take a quick peek and see if we have updated standings on that as well. Where's my link? While we have a moment, we can look that up.
We do not yet. Or do we?
Yeah, that's updated. Right.
Oh, 32. Skip Pavone at 144.
Yeah, so getting 2 buys, Bogosian, Fleming. Bogosian actually ended up being high qualifier. Fleming second, Congro, Kretzer, Tom Baker, Menelae, Pete McCordick with 2 buys. Nice, Pete, and Keith Lesko. Getting 1 buy, Kurt Gwynn, Don Harrington, Joe Fulner, Greg Thomas, Scott Greiner, Mike Miniman, Mike Clausen, and Steve Badovinik. So he has 1 buy tomorrow. And then the next 16 will be a match play at 9 o'clock. Chris Keene, Gary Allstott, Todd Schell, Darren Peters, John Donovan, Jay Watts, Keith Dahmer, who was in the stepladder as well, Mike Craig, Mike Keogh, Rick Hara, Joe Petrovic, Pete Thomas, Ty Dawson, John Burkett, Stoney Baker, and Skip Pavone. And Skip was in, well, why did he, so there was 2 at 144 if this is the official number. And somehow Skip is in.
Or is there a roll-off? I think there's a,
Yeah,
there might
possibly. With
be.
144
was it,
total points.
Unless it was on a tiebreaker.
Yeah, I mean, if it was 2, but he's a 3rd super senior, so that's not, or he's a 5th super senior, so it's not
So-
the 6th, so it's not because of that.
No, tiebreaker I think was total pins for the tournament.
We can double check that, but I'm sure it's official because it's posted on the web. Just missing out, Dan Inocencio out of Houston, Mike Reale, Bo Gergen by 2 points. Derek Gregory, Steve Smith did not make it to tomorrow by 5 points. And you can see the rest of the names out on the website. Mike Diaz, 56th. And they paid 52. Well, super senior, though, right?
I'm super senior. It's good to be over 60. I still get paid.
Oh, you sure do. All right, nice job. You have to put in for your bonus for in the booth for a couple days too from Ron. Maybe get a couple extra pieces of candy out of the candy dish there.
Yeah.
You know.
He may just give me a little pizza next time I'm over to his house next month.
So Badavinik taking his shots here. Yeah. Even without watching his other shots, I just think I think we just knew he was going to have a little bit better look just with his ball roll, his ball shape on this pattern.
I think so.
He's just got more. It's more tilt, right? He gets it's just going to make that move harder. Where Steve just doesn't. His ball is kind of tipping in backwards, sort of the way his roll comes off his hand. You just think Steve's going to carry. He's not going to have 10, where Steve Smith might have 10. $3,000 to the winner here in the Haynes Bowling Supply Challenge.
It's like Steve's going to be able to, Badavinik's going to be able to stay just a little bit right of Smith.
Yeah, maybe 3 or 4 right with his feet, but definitely getting the ball out there more. And he was just shooting a 10-pin there, I believe.
Yeah.
I think that wasn't a strike ball. I hope.
No, that was his spare shot. I think maybe Steve. I think maybe Steve's ready. Good choice of starting lane and get this match underway.
And this is set for Steve Smith, so he'd like to take this title and the $3,000
Oh yeah.
because he's not bowling tomorrow in the Logan Fusion Championship. Badavinik is. So what we saw this year with the 179 players is it really every day was totally different. Day 1 to day 2, your top players flip-flopped. And we've had a lot of new names, different faces in our step ladders. It's made it a really, really good tournament. Open up the field to a few more players. Really mixes things up a little bit. And I think top to bottom was a pretty strong event this year compared to years past.
Much stronger event this year.
If you look at the points, just so much tighter. I mean, even at the end of the game in qualifying day, the last game, there was a handful of players, that needed a strike and intent to make it to tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
And they'll come up short. So Steve Smith is going to start the championship match here against Steve Badavinik. Haynes Bowling Supply Challenge, and cuts it short and goes high, 6-10.
Yeah, I cut that one a little short. That one was left at 25 at the arrows. Full disclosure, Steve Badavinik is one of my closest friends, so I might be a little biased this match.
It's okay.
And Steve is deliberate.
Well, I'll give you full disclosure. I lost $5 on betting on Steve Smith this week, so I'm a little bitter. And I told him that. That's 3 hot dogs I missed out on.
That's right.
Steve's a great guy. I've got to know him a little bit over the last couple of years.
And Badavinik is ferocious in step ladders. Good opening shot. Got it down the lane, really trusted it. Got the good break.
Well, those 2 shots are what we were talking about a minute ago, the type of ball roll that each player has. Badavinik is going to be able to get that little more pin action and get the ball to peel off the spot. Where where Steve Smith just isn't quite that aggressive. He's still shaping
Yeah.
a little bit, but it's a completely different ball roll.
Yeah, Smith has to work to shape it a little bit more. Both former Team USA players. Fun fact about Steve Badavinik, made Team USA at the age of 48.
Wow. Very nice.
And you will see the emotion out of Badavinik.
Good. I like it. Why not?
Badavinik is colorful and one of the friendliest guys you will ever meet.
Well, he had a mantra this morning that he told me. I talked to him before practice this morning. His mantra for the day was, "Don't suck as much today."
That's always a good way to go.
No, and we had a good laugh about it. You know what? There he is, top seed,
It's
bowling for the title. So it worked. We said we're going to make T-shirts and bumper stickers now.
It's kind of what I wanted to do after bowling poorly yesterday.
Finally, we got a match starting out with some strikes. 3 out of 4 so far. Good. Steve Smith gets up here in the 3rd frame. And another shout out before we get too far in the match to all our sponsors this week. Of course, this is the Haynes Bowling Supply Challenge. Thanks to Steve Cook's Bowling Supply, Storm, Logo Infusion, 3G Shoes, Lana King, TW Wealth Management, all the sponsors for keeping this event growing year by year. And a bit of a mistake and a big 4 really difficult split conversion for Steve Smith now in the 3rd frame. And of course, everybody here at South Point, Mike Moniak and their crew, top notch.
Absolutely love bowling in this building. It's such a nice facility.
There's not a better tournament facility in the country.
There really isn't.
And it was built for events just like this. You know, it was built for tournament bowling, and they did a fantastic job. If you've never been here to the bowling plaza, it's worth a trip to check it out. The way that's set up, split house, 30 on each side, and you know the seating area, raised theater type seating, and you can see. You know, we're sitting behind, you know, lane 39. You can see every single lane and every single scoreboard in the bowling center from here.
And I will be back next month for the Glenn Carlson Collegiate Invitational.
As will I. Do you have college eligibility left?
I do not, but I do a couple of clinics per year for Morningside College in Iowa. So I'm going to come out and check out a collegiate event. Haven't been to one, only been to one since I left collegiate coaching back in 1994.
Quality shot for Badavinik there. Well, you better come out today early because there's a 900 Global Collegiate Singles Challenge on the 17th, the day before the Glenn Carlson.
And it won't be until the evening of the 17th.
Well, we'll wait till you get here.
I'm sure you will.
And our viewers out there can watch that event and the Glenn Carlson on Bowl TV. Aaron Smith will be out here for Bowl TV for those events. That looked a little inside. Didn't matter. I beat you to it.
Oh, you did beat me to it. That is another advantage Badavinik had is being able to, he uses those long levers to really get it through the front of the lane.
Yeah, it's hard to really tell from our angle and on the camera. But both these players they're both 6 foot, which is not common, you know, for bowlers at all. And it's they can create some different arm swings, like you mentioned, in leverage. And unfortunately, that's back-to-back splits for Steve Smith.
as early as in the match. He really needs to take a good run at this.
He'll make it. Next time. 55 in the fourth. And your opponent's got the front four.
That'll get you to press a little bit. These two know each other. They're almost exactly the same age.
And he shaped that one a little bit more, but maybe just a little slow. Not as firm as we saw earlier with some of the shots, and it just jumped on him in another 3-6-10.
Yeah. It's a funny thing. You think, well, I just came off the pair. I'm comfortable. I'm more familiar with it. And then another player comes on, takes 6-8 practice shots, and all of a sudden you get back up there and you've sat for a few minutes, and the lanes have changed a little bit, and all of a sudden you're lost.
So I think we asked this question last time, but now what does Badavinik need to do to not get too far ahead of himself? Yes, he's up quite a bit. He's got 4 strikes. Smith back-to-back splits. But you know, bowling's a momentum game, and we've seen matches turn around. We saw it in day one with Joel Carlson making a run back.
Badavinik won't get ahead of himself. He will keep his foot on the gas.
I think he liked that. By his reaction?
Yeah, I think so. I think he just, that shot told him he's got to get in a little bit.
You have any tips or tricks for our players at home when they're in this position, or even what is it you do to keep things slow, to slow things down? Are you talking to yourself in your head, little rhymes or something? What is there any tricks?
Sometimes I have a song playing in my head. Sometimes I'm just trying to get nice and quiet. If I really need a shot, I'll take a nice deep breath, hold it for a beat, and then just really exhale, and that will physiologically get the body to relax.
You really rolled that one nice.
Great shot. I've watched Badavinik in a lot of step ladders, and he's going to pour it on every single shot until he's won.
It doesn't look like he's ever going to get riled by anything.
No.
I think he liked that one too.
He did.
And he missed this the last game, but he's going a lot straighter at it this time.
Makes that one.
And that's one you usually hook at, though. Why? We've seen him do it twice straight at it, but that's,
yeah.
I mean, commonly that's a split or spare you hook at.
I certainly don't trust myself to go straight at that spare with a plastic ball.
That's a rough way to finish the week and the day for
Yeah.
Steve Smith. I mean, he finished off that last match, some good shots, wins it in a roll off, feeling good, and now that's his third split and only struck one time.
Yep.
Wow, bouncing pins.
Yeah, I think Badavinik starting to the right of him really changed his ball reaction early in the match. When they got pressing, when Badavinik opened with a quick four-bagger, and sometimes those games get away from you in a hurry.
Do you think as much of a change of shot, or Steve's thinking, I need to make sure I just stay inside that so it doesn't affect my reaction, so you just start getting a little bit tighter?
It's a little bit of both. Knowing he's got the match in hand, he's still going to take his time. Still going to go through his pre-shot routine.
Yeah, pacing 208, 187 max for Steve Smith, so you don't want to make any crazy mistakes here and go open or whatever and give your opponent some momentum. And it would take a lot, obviously, to really turn this match around, but you just don't want to give your opponent any favors.
No, and Badavinik won't. Even as a senior, he's one of the top handful of players in the state of Colorado of any age.
There's a quality shot right
Yep.
there. And everybody in tennis realizes that wraps it up. Great round of applause from the crowd. Finish it up just because you need to. Make it official, and Steve's going to try to, look, we're going to have the same patterns next year.
Yep.
So let's figure out what's may or may not work. Well, our third champion now this week. This is the Haynes Bowling Supply Challenge. Steve Badavinik is our winner. Last night, Corbett Austin won the Storm Challenge, and day one, Daniel Miyamoto won the Turbo Challenge. And tomorrow's the big one, the Local Infusion Championship. Top 32 players coming back after the 3 days of qualifying finished off this morning. Seeds 1 through 8 will get 2 buys. The next 8 will get 1 buy. So we'll have 16 through 32 here at 9 o'clock and start match play. Is it best of 5?
Best 5 for a while.
Okay, for a couple of rounds. So we have a lot of bowling to come tomorrow. Of course, we have check and trophy presentation, and we'll hear a few words from Badavinik.
Yeah, tune in tomorrow for the elimination match play with the 43-foot pattern you just saw tonight on the left lane and the 35-foot pattern you saw Tuesday night on the right lane.
Nice, very nice. And they're all elimination matches. That's what makes it the funnest when it's win or go home.
Yep.
So there's
my
no
favorite
qualifying
format
tomorrow. It's elimination, all elimination matches. And Steve Badavinik will be in those matches tomorrow. And he has 1 bye as the 16th seed. So 17 through 32 start things off in the morning.
After a long day today, I'm sure he'll appreciate getting that bye.
Yeah, and that's he didn't really have to be here till probably 10 o'clock. So that's a little rest, can have a breakfast, have your morning routine, and get in here and try to win another title.
He was up against it. I mean, he had to have a good day today to get to tomorrow.
So solid event for Steve Smith. He was the leader going into Cashier's round, or position round. Badavinik went around him. Steve was a 2 seed. And beats Darren Peters' first match, but he falls to Badavinik here in the championship. So again, Mike Diaz, thanks for joining me for the third night. And I guess we'll see you again tomorrow.
All right.
Thanks, everybody, for watching. Check and trophy coming up, and a few words from our champion and our tournament director, Hall of Famer Ron Moore.
Congratulations to Steve Smith. Bowled great all day. Struggled a little bit in the title match, but great job finishing second in the Haynes Bowling Supply Challenge.
Thanks, everybody, for watching. Again, back 9 o'clock tomorrow morning here local time with the local Infusion Championships. Fourth and final day here at the 2019 South Point Senior
We have the good
Shootout.
fortune of having David Haynes, the owner of Haynes Bowling Supply, presenting the award to Mr. Steve Badavinik, our Haynes Bowling Supply Challenge champion.
Steve, great bowling all day. The last game, lanes are tough. Made great shots. That's what it takes. Nice bowling, man. Congratulations. So here's your trophy and your check.
And David, also another former Team USA player. They're everywhere here in Vegas today. $3,000 first place prize. Nice little trophy for the mantle. And a picture in front of the banner. Why not?
Hello, hello. Hey, I just want to say to Mike Monchak and his crew, it's just amazing. Just everybody putting up with the bowlers and everybody being impatient. So, Lita, all of you, everybody behind the counter, thank you. Ron, it's silly. It's just what you do just for the love that you have for our sport. It's super honorable, and so thank you for giving us this avenue to do what we do. Craig, for running the live stream. Craig, what's the new tag phrase? Try not to suck as much as yesterday.
There it is.
Again, I want to thank God and Christ. You know, there's lots of challenges that we all face every day. But there's so many others that have it so worse than we do. And to be able to come out here in front of all of you awesome people and to roll a bowling ball down into some sticks, I hope you know how much it means to me to win this. David, thank you. You know, Tisha, thank you. Storm, Rotogrip, everybody back home, my children. I love you all, and this is for you. Thank you.
All right. With that, we'll see y'all tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Nice little speech there from our champion. So fantastic. That's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate you.